Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. As Nigerians await the final verdict, the final judgment by the judges in the PEPC, that's Presidential Election Petition Court, many Nigerians in Nigeria and in diaspora are definitely letting the judges know that all eyes are on them, judging the fact that there have been a lot of prayers made by APC and PDP where they intentionally do not want Peter Obi to be in the ballot box in case of a rerun. In a moment, we're going to find out why I said what I said and why this is so. While this is going on, there have been sponsors and many Nigerians, both in Nigeria and in diaspora, have decided to put billboards cut across many states in Nigeria to let the judges know that all eyes are on them. Top politicians are already calling out the judges to please do the right thing to save Nigeria from any portion. I'm going to go through all that. I'm going to, at the background, get to see the video of what is going on in some part of the country where Nigerians have taken it upon themselves to share a fair warning in their own little way to tell the judges that they should give out their verdict without fear of favor, that all eyes are definitely, both in Nigeria and in diaspora and international community, all eyes are on them. But before we go into your newspaper, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on. As the 5 justices that heard the election petition filed by the candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and the Labour Party LP Mr. Peter Obi at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, challenging the victory of President Bola Tinubu in the February 25th presidential election, to prepare to deliver their ruling on the matter, Nigerians at home and in the diaspora are filled with great expectation that the judges would rule based on the facts and figures presented before them and not based on technicalities or any other consideration. Recall that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had on March 1st, 4 days after the presidential election held on February 25th, announced Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress (APC) as the winner of the election and president-elect. According to INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu, Tinubu polled 8,794,726 votes to beat Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), who came second with 6,984,520, and Peter Obi of the Labour Party (LP), who placed third with 6,101,533. Now, the INEC chairman stressed that by the score, Tinubu had met the first constitutional requirement of garnering the highest vote among all candidates. He said he also scored over 25% of the vote cast in 30 states, which are more than the 24 states that are constitutionally required. Now, with the declaration, many Nigerians felt that INEC had neglected a very important constitutional requirement, which states that a candidate must score 25% of the vote cast in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Abuja to be declared president of Nigeria. Now, from the INEC records, only the Labour Party candidate who came third met that requirement. Tinubu Atiku did not. But INEC, in its own wisdom, did not consider that as enough reason to deny Tinubu the victory, having scored the highest number of votes cast in the election. Now, having scored 25% in more than 24 states of the Federation, however, that declaration did not go down well with the Labour Party candidate and his counterpart in the PDP, as they felt that apart from the fact that Tinubu did not score 25% of the votes cast in the FCT as required by the Constitution, the election was also marred with irregularities. They were of the view that Tinubu did not win and that INEC was wrong to have declared him as the winner. And what followed was legal action from both candidates at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal (PEPT). Now, so on March 21st, 2023, Obi approached the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal with a petition to challenge Tinubu's victory in the February 25th presidential election. He alleged that the election was characterized by irregularities ranging from rigging to manipulation of election results, intimidation and suppression of voters, destruction of ballot boxes and papers, and thuggery, among others, including claims that Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima were not qualified to contest the election in the first instance. instance. Now, he also alleged that Tinubu did not score the majority of the lawful vote cast in the election and did not get 25% of the vote cast in FCT Abuja, which is a constitutional requirement that must be met before one can be declared president of Nigeria. He equally alleged that the election was conducted in substantial non-compliance with the provisions of the law. Obi's first grounds of non-qualification was hinged on the claim that at the time of the presidential election, Tinubu was not qualified to contest the election because he was fined $460,000 for the offense involving narcotics trafficking imposed by the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, in case number 93C4483 between the United States of America and Bola Tinubu. Now, according to Obi, the second ground of non-qualification was that Tinubu's running mate, Kashim Shettima, had two nominations for two separate constitutions as Borno Central Senatorial candidate and as vice presidential candidate in the same election cycle. Now, Obi equally contended that Tinubu was not duly elected by majority of the lawful vote cast in each of the at least two-thirds of the states of the Federation and the FCT Abuja. He submitted that Tinubu was not entitled to be declared the winner of the election, having failed to score 1/4 of the lawful vote cast in the FCT in the election. In his two main prayers, he urged the court to declare Tinubu and his running mate Shettima unqualified to contest the February 25th presidential election, and that Tinubu did not score a majority of the lawful vote cast in the election. Now, he asked the court to declare that he satisfy the constitutional requirement to be declared the winner of the February 25th, 2023 presidential election after the deduction of alleged illegal votes for Tinubu's cause. Now, in the second main prayer, he also again urged the court to invalidate Tinubu's victory due to his failure to win 1/4 of the lawful vote cast in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja FCT, and on Obi's third prayer, which was put forward as an alternative prayer, urged the court to cancel the election and order INEC to conduct a fresh one. Now, in his fourth prayer, he repeated, he claimed that he won the election because he secured the majority of the lawful vote cast during the February 25th election. He therefore urged the court to declare him the president-elect and ordered the INEC to issue him a certificate of return. He also urged the court to void the certificate of return wrongly issued to Tinubu. Now, in the same vein, the PDP candidate Atiku also filed a petition on the same March 21st, challenging Tinubu's election. In his petition, Atiku asked the Presidential Election Court to either declare him the winner of the February 25th presidential election or nullify the election and order a rerun. Now, to prove his case, he called 27 witnesses and tendered tons of electoral documents. While closing his case, Atiku made some prayers, which include that Tinubu was not duly elected by a majority of lawful vote cast, and therefore his victory is unlawful, wrongful, unconstitutional, and should be voided. That at the time of the election, Tinubu was not qualified to contest the said election. That the return of Tinubu by the INEC was a wrongful, unlawful, undue, null and void, having not satisfied the requirement of the Electoral Act and Constitution, which mandatorily requires Tinubu to score not less than 1/4 of the lawful vote cast at the election in each of at least two-thirds of all the states and the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and that the court should declare him the winner as he scored the majority of lawful vote cast at the presidential election, among others. In the alternative, he also asked the court to declare the electoral body to conduct a second election, which is a runoff between him and Tinubu. Imagine. Now, having closed their cases, the respondents in the case, the INEC, APC, Tinubu and Shettima, asked the tribunal to give them 1 week to open their defense. A request the 5-member panel presided over by Justice Haruna Somani granted and fixed the July 3rd for them to open their cases. However, closing their defense, Tinubu and Shettima, along with their party, APC, through their lawyers led by Wole Olanipekun and Lateef Fagbemi, tendered several documents with only one witness to testify in aid of the counter-argument against the issues raised by Atiku and Obi. Now, counsels to Obi, or take that again, counsels to Tinubu, Shettima, and APC, as well as that of the INEC, countered all the arguments raised by the petitioners and prayed the court to dismiss the petition. For example, they argue that the issue of 25% of vote cast in FCT is illogical as it goes against the express provision of the Constitution, and the FCT must be treated as if it were where a state will submit that the case for non-compliance has not been met, FCT argument has to fall flat. The lawyers argue praying the court to dismiss the petition. Meanwhile, Tinubu and his party APC also told the tribunal that should there be need for a runoff, Labour Party Obi should not be part of it. The argument is that Obi was not qualified to fly the Labour Party flag in election by virtue of his name not contained in the membership register submitted to INEC prior to the polls. Now, with the close of argument by all the parties in the case on Tuesday, August 1st, the over 3 months legal fireworks were dropped in the court of the 5-man panel who would give their judgment before September 16, when the suit is expected to elapse. And the petitions were filed on March 21st, but hearing in the substantive suit began in May, lasting for 3 months. Or at the close of argument, the respected jurist had told the parties and Nigerians that the day of judgment will be communicated to them in due course. However, as Nigerians await the verdict of the tribunal amid tension, anxiety, and great expectations, discussions and opinions and the possible outcome have not ceased. There are those who have expressed their fear that whoever or whichever way the judgment goes, there could still be some pockets of protest. Yet there are still those who have plainly and honestly advised the judges to remain resolute and undoubted and fearless, and to pass their judgment based on facts and figures presented before them and not based on technicalities. Now, an APC chieftain and former member of the Katsina State House of Assembly, Honorable Yusuf Shehu, has refused to accept that judges are not capable of taking the right decisions. He believed that the judges would live up to their biddings and surprise those who have lost faith in them. He also, among those who advised the judges, must look at the issues before them conscientiously and deliver judgment without fear or favor. He also said, and I quote him, "I have always maintained that justice is truth, transparency, honesty, and giving right to those who deserve it. So I advise the judges handling all cases, not only the election petition cases, to be above board and do the right thing. They should listen to the doctrine of their vocation. I believe in the Nigerian judicial system, and as I said earlier, justice is doing the right thing." He reminded the judges that there is another judge that will judge them in the hereafter. Now, therefore, they have a great responsibility to do what is right without fear or favor so that democracy can thrive in Nigeria. Now, the Nigerian judges have done their best. We have commended them in so many instances where they upturned election in favor of the opposition and against the ruling party. They should continue on the same path, not by looking at all the evidences before them. Now, by looking at all the evidences before them as they pass their judgment, they should be able to make a decision that will be acceptable by the majority of Nigerians and people of other countries who are watching us. That is the expectation of Nigerians from them, he stated. Again, the president of Middle Belt Forum, MBF, Dr. Bogo Bitros, also believes that the judges would not cave in to pressures, knowing that the law is the final arbiter and last hope of the common man. Nigerians believe that all those injustices, abnormalities, and disregard for constitutionality that INEC has done or committed will be exposed and judgment given appropriately and accordingly. Somebody walks in, changes results from the polling unit, destroy result sheets, and refuse to upload results, and others, and the law of the nation are so clear on some of these things, and we believe that the judges will do the needful. They will do the right thing and make a pronouncement that will save the nation, because today our hope is on them. Now, the INEC has done the wrong thing, and that is why we are in court. If the right thing was done and the right person was declared after the right thing has been done, I believe some people will not even petition or even go to court, but they are in the court because they believe that the wrong things were done by INEC. He also added that some people believe that the constitutional requirement for someone to be president was not there, yet INEC pronounced somebody the president. They know the law requires that a candidate needs 25% vote in FCT to be president. So let's not deceive ourselves. Nigerians are expecting the right thing to be done by giving them the right judgment, and we believe that they will do the right thing. Now, Mr. Marcellus, a lawyer and a public affairs commentator, believes that Nigerians are going through very difficult and tough times and would not want the judges to toy with their destiny. He believes that even the judges could read the political temperature of the country and would not do anything that would test the fragile peace in the country. He also believes that the judges would look at the facts before them and pass their judgment. Many people have lost faith in judiciary, so this is a great opportunity for them to prove the naysayers wrong, he stated. Now you can see that all eyes are truly on the judiciary, and it looks like all the two major parties, I'm referring to PDP and APC, are actually hell-bent on making sure that if there will be a rerun, Peter Obi will not be in the ballot box. The question is, will Nigerians accept that? Of course, the voices of the obedient movement hinges on Peter Obi and made Peter Obi a running, and they believe that Peter Obi being the president is Nigeria running through him. So let's see how it plays out. All eyes truly on the judiciary. Let's